I think that you were mocking his stutter.
Is the best Biden ever.
CNN's Jake Tapper is one of the biggest scam artists who covered up Joe Biden's decline for years. And now he wrote a book. We're going to get into that book. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is all the rage today. Look, he wrote a book. Jake Tapper, Original Sin, now available for pre-order at this book place by Penguin Press. Been working hard on this with Alex Thompson from interviews with more than 200 White House insiders, Democrat leaders, and more. Original Sin, what's the headline? President Biden's decline, its cover-up, and his disastrous choice to run again by Jake Tapper and Alex Johnson. How in the world is Jake Tapper having the authority to write this book when he was the cover-up? Coming out next month. Incredible. Jake Tapper somehow managed to attach himself to a book describing the cover-up of Joe Biden's mental capacity as if he was doing daily segments warning the public about it for years. But we did news on his daily segments where he defended the idea. We have video here of him excoriating Lara Trump when she first brought up the idea of Joe Biden's decline. Watch this one.
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You are
to watch somebody on stage
that's so amazing. It's so amazing to me
and try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter.
Tapper is going with the narrative that Joe Biden had a stutter, which we never saw. They kept going, Joe Biden has a stutter. It's not cognitive decline. He's always been this way. No, we saw him speak when he could not finish a sentence. He couldn't finish a thought, and it got much worse. He would sit there muddled. And then Jake Tapper, so Lara Trump, who is considered just, a Trump grifter, by the way, she just came out with her Fox News show. It was one of their top rated shows. Blew up. She did a great job interviewing Caroline Levitt, but she's been mocked as not a journalist. Lara Trump here is doing the work of a journalist, saying Joe Biden clearly has signs of decline. And Jake Tapper comes in and goes, you don't have the authority. You can't say that just because the man has a stutter. And now Jake Tapper is writing a book called Original Sin about the cover-up of Joe Biden. And it's not going to be Jake Tapper going, I did this, I'm what's wrong. I can't believe I did this. This is a confession. My career is over. I failed as a journalist. Lara Trump was a better journalist than I was.
Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses, diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you.
Did Jake Tapper ever question those diagnoses of Trump? No. They ran along with it, with Trump being insane, Trump being unfit to govern. This is going to be a very tough bed for Jake Tapper to sleep in.
Your father-in-law from afar, I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say...
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked about a cognitive decline.
I think the cognitive decline is pretty clear. Now, there's the two accusations. So he's hiding behind... Look, lots of people diagnosed your father, and they didn't have the authority. But the difference being they only diagnosed Trump with insanity because they were Democrats and he was a Republican. So now we have to ask that question of all of us. Did we only diagnose Biden with cognitive decline because we're Republicans and he's a Democrat? I'll give you a perfect example is Mitch McConnell is a Republican and we all look at him and go, that's cognitive decline. You're going downhill. You froze up. You couldn't finish a sentence. So it's not about Democrats versus Republicans. People were sane when they said Joe Biden showed signs of decline and who is in charge of this country. We've said it for years now. Who's driving the car? Because daddy is not driving the car in Joe Biden's case. And he's doing the whole, oh, are you an expert? This is like the Supreme Court Justice, that Brown Jackson, who said, I can't tell you what a woman is. I'm not a biologist.
That Joe Biden
I have one last question for you, Lara. You can't...
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Lara
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, and goodbye. That was a quick dismissal from the guy who covered up Joe Biden's decline. And part of that cover up, by the way, is why Joe Biden was allowed to continue to run too late all the way to that first debate. And then they swapped out Kamala Harris and said, oh, it was too late to swap her in. So part of why Joe Biden was able to hang on so long is because of Democrats like Jake Tapper. And then they complain that he stayed on so long because of Democrats like Jake Tapper. And then he writes a book calling it The Original Sin. That whole thing should be an autobiography of his life. It wasn't just Jake Tapper. I know this is painful to watch. Here's Joe Scarborough excoriating everyone for having common sense.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
Holy smokes. There's The Original Sin. I'll be angry, though, if Jake Tapper has chapter after chapter about Joe Scarborough's lie here and cover up. But Jake Tapper will not do a play-by-play of he and Lara Trump, where Lara Trump was being a better journalist than Joe Scarborough or Jake Tapper.
Intellectually,
there's the cardboard men on the right. Those guys are my favorite. These really are like just generic, the bad guys in movies like stormtroopers, just dumb stormtroopers, or putties in Power Rangers, just these generic kind of background kung fu yes men. They have nothing to say. They have a 1,000-mile stare. They're the blandest cardboard guys. I'll take Jake Tapper. I'll take Joe Scarborough any day. I'll take Joey Reid screaming like an idiot over these two bland oatmeal yes men. Yes men.
Analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, I don't know if people know this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and
wait, so he said he was once a hothead, so he's admitting that guy's gone. What happened? Where's the guy that used to be so present?
You know what? I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth.
Yeah, tell me the truth.
And F you if you can't handle the truth.
F you if you can't handle the truth. I'm just going to play that again.
If you can't handle the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
So we can't handle the truth that Joe Biden is sharp. That's what all of media was saying, that he actually cussed at you. He thinks you're so stupid. That is a blatant, hardcore gaslighting lie. When you start ramping up the rhetoric, going an F you if you don't agree, it's when you're caught just being so wrong that you turn belligerent. That's what he's doing right here.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
That's actually kind of a backhanded insult. This version of Biden intellectually is the best Biden ever, and he's in complete cognitive decline. He's nearly in a coma. He nearly poops his pants every day. And by the way, this is the best version of him. That's a huge insult. And then here's a last little bit of a clip that I found.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
You kind of feel bad for him. That's when what he first was nailing Lara Trump on, was that she was saying, Joe Biden, can you get the words out? That's what we all thought. We watched him speak. It was uncomfortable going, is this guy going to make it through the speech? Is he going to be able to walk off stage and he'd get lost doing that zombie walk with his arms out, not knowing where the exit is? And someone, oh, that's an exit. This guy has left stages his entire life, gone from a podium to making his way exit stage right. And he suddenly doesn't even understand the most basics of, now I'm done, where do I go? We all saw it. Jake Tapper lied about it. Now he's writing the book on it. And that's why we're mocking Jake Tapper and CNN. This is a weird, passive-aggressive gaslighting of a book. And Jake Tapper, all I know is if he's going to support this book that comes out in a month, he better come on the air and start going, mea culpa, I did something wrong. By the way, this book is about me and my lies. If he says that, I would love to put it on my show and compliment him for being honest for the first time in his fake news, fake journalism, worse than Lara Trump, who rolled out of bed and mopped the floor with him as far as being able to tell a simple truth. I'm Doug in exile.